It's no secret that physical media is on its way out. After all, when was the last time you bought a movie on home video, or an entire album just for one song? The idea of physical media itself is quickly going away, yet when we talk about an all-digital future, or find out that Best Buy is about to stop selling CDs, a vocal resistance is right there to meet the change in the industry. But why? Before we decide whether or not physical or digital is the right way to go, we need to take a look on why media changes in the first place. When it comes down to it, it's just basic economics. Once a format becomes easier to mass produce, it renders the previous one obsolete. It's why CDs overtook cassette tape, or why DVDs overtook VHS. The former simply couldn't compete with the latter when it came to manufacturing. That's why Blu-ray could never completely phase out DVD. The cost to press a DVD is just considerably way cheaper than it is to a Blu-ray. And what's cheaper for a company, or even the consumer? All that pressing, packing, shipping, or just putting everything on a server and charging you $8 a month. The other big reason is convenience. Remember vinyl record? Unless you were Muhammad Ali, not so easy to take with you on the go. But now with the cassette tape, you can just walk, man. Remember rewinding? Or what about lugging around a dozen discs if you wanted more than a dozen songs? Last time you used an MP3 player? Just like the camera, it's just one less thing we have to have in our pockets. So, obviously digital is better, right? I mean, what's more cheap and convenient than just data? Ever waited more than an hour just for something to install? Or even worse, how about waiting for the internet just to come back on? Here is where we see the biggest detriment to an all-digital future: high-speed internet access. After all that data isn't nothing, and isn't necessarily cheap for everybody. How can we possibly go all digital without leaving somebody behind? Access to media does determine economic well-being and opportunity. Is it really up to these media companies to segregate these people? Meanwhile, in the far-off land of not America, we're introduced to second world countries like Cuba or North Korea with government-controlled intranets, and third world countries that even lack the basic infrastructure at all. Even developed countries like Australia have something called data caps, which limits their internet access, not to mention that media is something that evolves differently in different places. However, we do see an inherent attachment to physical media for some reason. This seems to be more prevalent among gamers. And why is that? It could be owed to our attachment to physical things in general. These things do give us a sense of nostalgia. They take us back to the past. They remind us of our own past. It's something that existed. Here's the proof. And we see value in that confirmation. Of course, we all can't have that Hannes Wagner card, that Action Comics #1, but we all want to preserve the past somehow, and that just can't happen if we don't have something physical we can associate it with. It also doesn't help that video games seem to be the only format not keen on re-releasing works as the times change. Simple fact of the matter is, video games just haven't caught up when it comes to the rules of obsolescence. Let's go back to benefits over detriments. What benefits do you really get from going all digital? Cost? The used game market would say otherwise. Convenience? Is it really faster to just go to the store or to just download something? Music and movies take a few minutes tops, sure, but a video game is like 10 to 20 times the size. Not so easy even with quote-unquote adequate internet. So what does this all mean? The numbers are in, and yeah, besides video games, I'd label most people as digital media consumers. Games will get there eventually too. It's just a matter of getting that benefits column bigger than the detriment one. In conclusion, as we continue to change the ways on how we consume media, we need to remember what we gain, but more importantly, what we give up. Times will change, technology will get better, attitudes will adjust, but media is always going to be something that's there. Just remember that next time you decide to grab something off the shelf or look into that digital library of yours.
We get it almost every night, and when that moon gets big,